I was a little bit hungry, so I just have a cereals real quick before I get started. So I'll do a little bit of Wordle, I guess, while I finish my munchies. Okay, I have finished my cereals. However, I think I want to finish this Wordle before we start reading. Okay, so my first word was halos. We got a hit on the A and the O, but they're not in the correct spot. And then I got a tone. I got a hit on everything except T, but yet again, nothing is in the correct spot. So I'm not sure where to go from here. We have A, O, and E. Is it like Nito? Nicho. I don't think it's N-E-A. I don't think that's a particularly common. Nipo? Nico? It's a Nico. Nemo. Nemo. Nebo? I really don't think it's anything like this. N-E-A-B-O. That doesn't really look like a word. What if we put something here? It could be like next so. Oh, maybe it's like that other time when I was struggling with the word borax. Could be something like that. I'm not really sure. Maybe I'll have to come back to this one later. And then I'll just do a bit of reading for now. Horny? No. Horna? Horn? I don't really have any good ideas. You know, I was thinking canoe earlier, but the A definitely does not go second, and the O does not go fourth, so I'm pretty sure. Okay, I guess I don't know why I suck at this part so hard, where I have 4 letters that I know are in the word, but I can't organize them in the proper order. Let me plug in a couple other letters just to see. P-U-P-I. Pig. How about picky? Picky. To see. Coney? Cornea? Acone? Nyoka? Nokia? Nocia? No, C doesn't go in the middle. If I had typed in canoe second, which is a word that I assumed it might have been, I would have had all the letters. This isn't good. This no good. Is Konya a word? No, it is not. Okay, why can I not see it? Oh, is it? It cannot be O and C. It cannot be O. Oh, the O C. I have NEA. Is ocean a word? No. Oh no, even if it were a word, the E does not go at the end. Oh! It's it's ocean! Oh no. Okay, well, now I know that the letters for canoe and ocean are the same. So I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind moving forward. Oh no. Okay. Let me go take... I'll keep this up. We'll keep this this tab open for the time being. And then we will pull this up. And let me go take back my dishes, and then I will post the stream link elsewhere, and then we'll start. Give me a second. Also, it's supposed to rain today. I do see, I think it's the fan that's being picked up by the mic. Give me a couple seconds here to see if I can deal with that. I think I'm just gonna have to turn the fan lower, probably. Okay, let me have a look at the mic on the mixer. There is still a little bit of ambient sound. Okay, if I lower the slider way down here though, I think it looks clear. It does look mostly clear. We'll keep it around here. I get an actual real deal XLR set up at some point. See if maybe that helps with what the heck? With the background noise from time to time, and it does a little bit better in terms of compression. Okay, let me see. What do I gotta do here? Oh fuck, I gotta relog into Twitter's. No! Let's do this. Okay, I gotta hide the mic a little bit. Let me put on music while I set up the social media stuff. Give me a couple seconds. Okay, I think, thankfully, the the spooky rain will not happen for quite a while. Okay, let me do post this one and post this one. Okay, pull this back up. Okay, I think I am just about ready as spaghetti. Like a lion in the Serengeti. Okay, we left off on. We finished chapter 28. Chapter 28. We read the 3 chapters, I believe, right? So let's see. Okay, this one was. I forgot what the first chapter was. Something about she was gonna reveal further info about Project Mjolnir. Why is it taking forever to load? '27. We started at 26, I believe. Let me double check. Oops, no, that's not the one. This one. Galo Reach, 26 to 28. So we read 26 as well. Okay, so this one was this chapter 26, 27, and 28. So, Dr. Halsey, previously on Halo, The Fall of Reach. Dr. Halsey and Captain Keys. The patches. Oh, okay. I hear the bugs is on my through my monitor, so maybe that's what was making all that sound. Maybe it wasn't necessarily the fan. Arby's licking patches. They is the kittens. Okay, so previously on Halo, The Fall of Reach. Dr. Halsey and Captain Keys met up with the Spartans, and they discussed their need to face the Covenant and their plan to find the Covenant homeworld by infiltrating one of their ships. And the Spartans are kind of spooked. And Master Chief has several questions about how exactly they're going to pilot this Covenant vessel. RB, chill, buddy. About how exactly they're going to pilot the Covenant vessel if they don't even have full translations. RB, chill. Patches, chill. You better not make a whole bunch of sound, because I'm just about to start reading. That's going to suck if you guys do that. You guys okay? Why can't you guys just play nice like that all the time? You always gotta turn it into a fight. And then in the next chapter, Dr. Halsey introduced Master Chief to Cortanas, and they triumphed over Colonel Ackerson's challenge to test whether or not the Spartan program and Project Mjolnir were up to the task of facing the difficulties and the dangers of the Covenant. And lastly, as Cortana is in the Pillar of Autumn with Captain Keyes and his crew, she is running she's being a sneaky gremlin in the UNSC network and doing a couple mischievous things that will meet Colonel Ackerson in the coming days. And that's basically where we left off. But I still need a bit more water, apparently. So give me a second. Oh yeah, also I forgot. I gotta do my stuffs. So thanks for joining the stream. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, you can look below if you're on YouTube to all the links that can support me. You can buy my stories and poems at zayshg.com/shop. You can support me on Subscribestar for as little as $1 a month. You can check out my Amazon affiliate links, and I receive commissions off those. And also, you can tip with Streamlabs. A $3 or more tip will play you a nice little alert. And I believe that's it. Now we can get started. Today has been fairly painful for me. I have been recovering from my workouts, and my body is yelling at me to just go lay down, but I'm not going to. I did do a tiny little bit of cardio beforehand. And I'm not necessarily feeling super duper up to doing a super long stream or reading a whole bunch. I don't know if I will be able to read a lot today, but we're definitely gonna try. I'll read as much as I can. Hopefully my voice is manages to hang in there. And if not, if I'm feeling like something's off, like something's missing, then I'll just go ahead and call it a night early. I might end early for reading, but if I do, I'll probably still be fairly okay to play a couple games and listen to a couple spooky stories. So we will see whether or not that is the case. And I see that Patches is playing with Arby's tail, so they might start fighting here in a second. Hopefully they don't, though. But yeah, here we go. I guess, as before, I will read the final little bits of the previous chapter. So this is about Cortana. She continued, absorbing the data from the Master Chief's files. She learned of the augmentations he and the other Spartans were made to endure, the brutal indoctrination and training they had received, and how he had been abducted at the age of 6, and a flash clone used to replace him in an Oni Black Op. All of it had been authorized by Dr. Halsey. Cortana paused for a full 3 processors. Cortana paused for a full 3 processor cycles, churning this new data through her ethics subroutines, not comprehending. How could Dr. Halsey, who was so concerned for her Spartans, have done this to them? Of course, because it was necessary. There was no other way to preserve the UNSC against rebellion. Was Dr. Halsey a monster? Or just doing what had to be done to protect humanity? Perhaps a little of both. Cortana erased her stolen files. No matter. Whatever the Master Chief had been through in the past, it was done. He was in Cortana's care now. She would do everything in her power, short of compromising their mission, to make sure nothing ever happened to him again. Halo, The Fall of Rage. Chapter 29. 0400 hours, August 30th, 2552. Military calendar. UNSC Pillar of Autumn in orbit around Epsilon Eridani system. Reach military complex. Captain Keyes tapped the thrusters of the shuttlepod Coda. The tiny craft rolled and the Pillar of Autumn came into view. Normally, captains did not ferry themselves around the space docks of Reach, but Keyes had insisted. All unauthorized personnel were restricted to a narrow flight path around the Pillar of Autumn, and he wanted to take a careful look around the outside of it. All unauthorized personnel were restricted to a narrow flight path around the Pillar of Autumn, and he wanted to take a careful look around the outside of this ship before he took command. From this distance, the Pillar of Autumn could have been mistaken for a Marathon-class carrier. As the shuttle pod moved closer, however, details appeared that betrayed the ship's age. The Pillar of Autumn's hull had several larger dents and scratches. Her engine baffles were blackened. What had he gotten himself into by signing up for Dr. Halsey's mission? He moved within 100 meters and circled to starboard. The shuttle bay on this side was sealed off. Red and yellow hazard warnings had been painted on metal plates that had been hastily welded over her entrance. He closed to 10 meters and saw the plate was not a solid sheet of metal. He could see armored ports, heavily reinforced, almost solid titanium A. Honeycombed throughout this section were the round covers of Archer missile pods. Captain Keyes counted 30 pods across, 10 down. Each pod held dozens of missiles. The Pillar of Autumn had a secret arsenal to rival any real cruiser in the fleet. Captain Keyes drifted toward the stern and noticed concealed and recessed 50mm autocannons for defense against single ships. Underneath were bumps, part of the linear accelerator system for the ship's lone Mach gun. Why did I pronounce it as accelerator? Underneath were bumps, part of the linear accelerator system for the ship's lone Mach gun. It looked too small to be truly effective, but he would reserve judgment. Perhaps, like the rest of the Pillar of Autumn, the weapon was more than it appeared to be. He certainly hoped so. Captain Keyes returned to the port side and drifted gently into the shuttle bay. He took note of 3 long-sword single ships and 3 Pelican dropships in the bay. One of the Pelicans had double the normal armor plating and what looked like grappling attachments. A serrated titanium ram decorated the dropship's prow. I don't recall at all, and I think even back when I first read it, I was unaware about Echo 419, so I don't know if there's going to be a reference to Echo 419 here, but we'll see. I certainly hope so. I don't know if I could do her voice justice, though. I I really don't think I could do her voice, but I'll have to give her a voice that I guess is close enough. So we'll have to see. But even the cereal is making me burp. What the heck? Okay, let's just reread that last little part there. One of the pelicans had double the normal armor plating and what looked like grappling attachments. A serrated titanium ram decorated the dropship's prow. Okay, let me go have a look and see if Echo 419's pelican has. I imagine maybe that's what that is. I was unaware. Echo 419 pelican. Are there any decorations here? So here's Echo 419, a couple of screenshots. Is there a ram? Captain Carol Fellhammer Raleigh. Was it Raleigh or Raleigh? I guess Raw, because R-A-W is raw, so Raleigh. Did they have a ram? Titanium? No, I don't see anything here about rams or titanium. Okay, well we'll see if there's any other specifications for other pelicans on board the Pillar Bottom. It's possible this is still early enough that Echo 419 and her pelican is not yet on board the Pillar Bottom. A serrated titanium ram decorated the dropship's prow. He touched down on an automated landing platform and locked the controls down. A moment later, the shuttle descended below decks and was cycled through the airlock. Captain Keyes gathered his duffel bag and stepped onto the flight deck. Lieutenant Hikawa was there to meet him. She saluted. "Welcome aboard, Captain Keyes." He saluted. "What do you think of her, Lieutenant?" Lieutenant Hikawa's dark eyes widened. "You're not going to believe this ship, sir." Her normally serious face broke with a smile. "They've turned it into something special." "I saw what they did to my starboard shuttle bay," Captain Keyes remarked sourly. "That's just the start," she said. "I can give you a full tour." "Please," Captain Keyes said. He paused at an intercom. "Just one thing first, Lieutenant." He keyed the intercom. "Ensign Lavelle, plot a course to the system's edge and move the Pillar Bottom on an accelerating vector. We will jump to slipstream space as soon as we get there." "Sir," Lavelle replied, "our engines are still in shakedown mode." "Cortana?" Captain Keyes asked. Can we have power to the ship? Can we have power to move the ship? I'd like to get underway." "The engine's final shakedown is in theta cycle," Cortana replied. "Operating well within normal parameters. Diverting 30% power to engines, aye, sir." "And the other system status?" Captain Keyes asked. "Weapons system check initiated. Navigational nodes functioning. Continuing system-wide shakedown and triple checks, Captain." "Very good," he said. "Appraise me if there are any other anomalies." "Aye, Captain," she replied. "We finally have an AI. Oh, never mind that. I thought that was Hikawa speaking, but it is not." "Aye, Captain," she replied. "We finally have an AI," he remarked to Hikawa. "We've got more than that, sir," Hikawa replied. "Cortana is running the shakedown and supervising Dr. Halsey's modifications to the ship. We have a backup AI to handle point defense. Really? Keyes was surprised. Getting a single AI was tough enough these days. Getting two was unprecedented. Yes, sir. I'll see to the initi- Yes, sir. I'll see to the initialization of our AI as soon as Cortana is through running her diagnostics. Captain Keyes had met Cortana briefly in Dr. Halsey's office. Although every AI he had met was brilliant, Cortana seemed exceptionally qualified. Captain Keyes had posed several navigation problems, and she had figured out all the solutions, and had come up with a few options he had not considered. She was somewhat high-spirited, but that was not necessarily a bad thing. Lieutenant Hikawa led him into the elevator and punched the button for D-Deck. At first, Hikawa said, I was concerned with all the ordnance on board. One penetrating shot and we could explode like a string of firecrackers. But this ship doesn't have much empty space. It's full of braces, honeycombed titanium A, and hydraulic reinforcements that can be activated in an emergency. She can take a tremendous beating, sir. Let's hope we don't have to test that, Captain Keyes said. He checked that his pipe was in his pocket. Yes, sir. Their elevator passed through the rotating section of the ship, and Captain Keyes felt his weight. Their elevator passed through the rotating section of the ship, and Captain Keyes felt his weight ease and a flutter of vertigo. He grabbed hold of the rails. The doors opened, and they entered the cavernous engine room. The ceiling was 4 stories high, making this the largest compartment in the ship. Catwalks and platforms ringed the hexagonal. Yeah, I guess that's how I would pronounce that, hexagonal. Catwalks and platforms ringed the hexagonal chamber. Here's the new reactor, sir, Hikawa said. The device perched within a lattice of non-ferric. I don't know if we've had the word non-ferric before. We've had ferrous. I don't know if I've seen non-ferric. Non-ferric, ceramic, and leaded crystal. The device perched within a lattice of non-ferric ceramic and leaded crystal. The main reactor ring was nestled in the center of what appeared to be 2 smaller reactor rings. Technicians floated nearby, taking readings and monitoring the output displays on the walls. I'm not familiar with this design, Lieutenant. The latest reactor technology. The Pillar of Autumn is the first to get it. The 2 smaller fusion reactors come online to supercharge the main reactor. Their overlapping magnetic fields can temporarily boost power by 300%. Captain Keyes whistled appreciatively as he scrutinized the room. I don't see any coolant pipes. There are none, sir. This reactor uses a laser-induced optical slurry of ions chilled to near absolute zero to neutralize the waste heat. The more we crank up the power, the more juice we have to cool the system. It is very efficient. The smaller reactors flickered to life, and Captain Keyes felt the ambient heat in the room jump, then suddenly cool again. He removed his pipe and tapped it in the palm of his hand. He would have to rethink his old tactics. This new engine could give him new options in battle. There's more, sir. Lieutenant Hikawa led him back into the lift. We have 40 50mm cannons for point defense, with overlapping fields of We have 40 50mm cannons for point defense, with overlapping fields of fire covering all inbound vectors. What is our least defended approach vector? Bottom 4, she said, along the ley line of the MAC system. There are very few gunner replacements there. Transient magnetic bursts tend to magnetize the weapons. Tell me about the Macon, Lieutenant. It looks underpowered. It fires a special light round with a ferrous core, but an outer layer of tungsten carbide. The round splinters on impact, like an assault rifle's shredder rounds. She was talking so fast, she had to pause and take a deep breath. This gun has magnetic field recyclers along the length that recapture the field energy. Coupled with booster capacitors, we can fire 3 successive shots with 1 charge. That would be very effective against the Covenant energy shields. The first shot, maybe the first pair of shots, would take down their shields. The last round would deliver a knockout punch. I take it you approve, Lieutenant. To quote Ensign Levalser, I think I'm in love. Captain Keyes nodded. I notice we have several single ships and some Pelican dropships in the bay. Yes, sir. One of the longswords is equipped with a Shiva nuclear warhead. It can be remote piloted. We also have 3 Havoc warheads on board. Of course, Captain Keyes said. And the Pelicans? One of them had extra armor. The Spartans were working on it. Some sort of boarding craft. The Spartans? Captain Keyes asked. They're already on board? Yes, sir. They were here before we got on board. Take me to them, Lieutenant. Yes, sir. Lieutenant Hikawa stopped the elevator and hit the button for seating. Oh, hello. At Emotes, when did you get in here? I don't think we have used the hay in a while. What is you up to? 25 years ago, Captain Keyes had helped procure the Spartan candidate for Dr. Halsey. She had said they might one day be the best hope the UNSC had for peace. At the time, he'd assumed that the doctor was prone to hyperbole, but it appeared that she'd been correct. That didn't make what they had done right, though. His complicity in those kidnappings still haunted him. The elevator doors opened. The primary storage bay had been converted into barracks for the 25 Spartans. Every one of them wore Mjolnir battle armor. They looked alien to him, part machine, part Titan, but completely inhuman. Working on a ting. Kinda work more like a tool. Building tools is like one of those things that are super cool. I still have this super duper cool, super awesome video. I should download it just in case it gets deleted. See if I can find it. I think I posted it in a channel that is now deleted on my server. It was one of these videos, but like from the 70s. Oh my god, it's a butt. What if I put in VHS? No! But anyway, a guy goes out into the woods. It's like back in the 60s or 70s or something, and he makes his own hammer. I think he goes in with like a couple of tools. And he makes a couple of building tools, a couple of utensils for cooking and stuff. He makes like a spoon. He just like shaves it and carves it out, the pieces of wood that he doesn't need. So yeah, making your own tools is cool. Although I guess for your case it's more of a pewter tool. LTT just posted that they'd be posting a video tonight and they'll be doing WAN right after. Ah, okay. I mean, yeah, I would be, but yeah, I might not read as long today as I typically do. So maybe if my voice gets too tired from reading, Then I'll probably listen to a bit of WAN show on here while playing some video. But yeah, that will depend on how much I can read today. I think I fucked up my reading voice for a little tiny baby bit because I was practicing some voice acting for certain characters who are evil, and it kind of it kind of hurts my throat to do that. It was kind of like the like the Sorting Hat from Harry Potter, where he says, fuck, how did I read it? Where the Sorting Hat goes like, oh wait, I gotta reborrow the book. The Sorting Hat says, not a bad mind. You could be great in Slytherin. It's all here in your head. And it's kind of like that, but much, but it requires much more effort than that. I can't wait till we get to the more evil characters that have human lines and human voices rather than just doing grunt sounds and elite sounds. But we'll see. Okay, so the aliens, the Spartans look like aliens to Blackton Keys. They look like Alamouse. The room was filled with motions. Motions? No, one motion. The room was filled with motion. Spartans unpacked crates. Others cleaned and field stripped their assault rifles. And a pair of them practiced hand-to-hand combat. That reminds me, I gotta clean my gun. I should probably make sure it's clear right now, actually. Super duper quick gun clearing, just to make sure it's all good. It's still in the holster, so we're all good. I got my rounds. Okay, there. Super clear. Easy peasy. I gotta clean this later. Phew. Put this back down over here. Maybe that's what I'll do, actually. I will clean my gun while listening to the Sinus Labastion from Sinus L Tips. Okay, so there's Spartans moving crates, cleaning their guns, and doing hand-to-hand combat. Captain Keys could barely follow their motions. They were so fast, no hesitation. Strike and block and counter-strike. Their movements were a continuous stream of rapid-fire blurs. Captain Keys had seen the news feeds and heard the rumors. Like everyone in the fleet, the Spartans were near mythological figures in the military. They were supposed to be subhuman. They were supposed to be superhuman soldiers, invulnerable and indestructible. And it was almost the truth. Dr. Halsey had shown him their operational records. Between the Spartans and the refitted Pillar of Autumn, Captain Keys was beginning to believe Dr. Halsey's long-shot mission might work after all. "Captain on deck!" one of the Spartans shouted. Every Spartan stopped and snapped to attention. "As you were," he said. The Spartans relaxed slightly. One turned and strode toward him. "Master Chief Spartan 117, reporting as ordered, sir." The armored giant paused, and for a moment, Keys thought the Spartan looked uncomfortable. I think this is still Chief speaking. "Sir, I regret the unit was not able to ask your permission to come aboard. Vice Admiral Stanforth insisted we keep our presence off comm channels." Okay. I think this is one of the weirdest times I've had voicing Chief. Gotta go back to my Chief lines. Sir, finishing this fight. Master Chief Spartan 117, reporting as ordered, sir. Sir, I regret the unit was not able to ask for permission to come aboard. Vice Admiral Stanforth insisted we keep our presence off the comm channels and computer networks. Captain Keyes found the reflective... Okay, I wasn't sure if it was reflective or reflexive. Captain Keyes found the reflective faceplates of the Spartan's helmet disconcerting. It was impossible to read their features. Quite all right, Master Chief. I just wanted to extend my regards. If you or your men need anything, let me know. Yes, sir, the Master Chief said. An awkward moment of silence passed. Captain Keyes felt like he didn't belong here, an intruder in a very exclusive club. Well, Master Chief, I'll be on the bridge. Sir, the Master Chief saluted. Captain Keyes returned the salute and left with Lieutenant Hikawa. When the I don't know if I want to say Elama or elevator. When the elevator doors closed, Lieutenant Hikawa said, Do you think... I mean, with all due respect to the Spartans, sir, don't you think they're... strange? Strange? Yes, Lieutenant. Yes, Lieutenant. You might act a little strange if you'd seen and been through as much as they had. Some people say they're not even humans in those suits. That they're just machines. They're human, Captain Keyes said. The elevator doors parted and Captain Keyes stepped onto his bridge. It was much smaller than he was accustomed to. The command chair was only a meter away from the other stations. View screens dominated the room, and a massive, curved window afforded a panoramic view of the stars. I guess it would be more pronounced panoramic. View screens dominated the room, and a massive, curved window offered a panoramic view of the stars. Status reports, Captain Keyes ordered. Lieutenant Dominique spoke first. Communications are green, sir. Monitoring fleet comm reach traffic. No new orders. Dominique had gotten his hair shorn since he had been on the Iroquois. He also had a new tattoo around his left wrist. The wavy lines of a bezel? What is a bezel function? If only I had a computer nerd to tell me what it is. Bezel function. Maybe it's like a bezel function is a generalization of the sine function and describes the radial part of vibrations of a circular membrane. What a fucking nerd, dude. What the heck? This guy's a nerd. You're supposed to be a badass war guy. You're not a nerd. You're not supposed to be a scientist. You're not supposed to know navigational skills or mathematical skills. So what the heck? Bessel function. Where were we? Over here somewhere? Bessel function. He also had a new tattoo around his left wrist. The wavy lines of a Bessel function. Reactor shakedown 80% complete, Lieutenant Hall reported. Oxygen, power, rotation, and pressure all green lights, sir. She smiled, but it wasn't like before, an automatic gesture. She seemed genuinely happy. Lieutenant Hikawa took her seat and strapped in. She gathered her black hair and tied it into a knot. Weapons panel shows green, sir. Mag gun capacitors at 0 charge. Ensign Lavelle finally reported. Navigation and sensor systems online, Captain, and all green. Ready for your orders. Lavelle was completely focused on his station. A small hologram of Cortana flickered on the AI pedestal near navigation. Engine shakedown running smoothly, Captain. she said. All personnel on board. You have half power now if you wish to move the ship. Fujikawa. Fujikawa Shard generators online. You can take us into Slipstream at your pleasure. Very good, Captain Keyes said. Oh my god. I almost choked there. Very good, Captain Keyes said. Keyes surveyed his crew, pleased at how they had sharpened up after Sigma Octanus. Gone were the bleary, haggard expressions and the tentative, nervous mannerisms. Good, he thought. We're going to need everyone at the top of their game now. The crew had been briefed on their mission. Part of it, anyway. Captain Keyes had insisted. They were told they would be attempting to capture Covenant technology with an aim to disabling one of the aliens' ships and bringing Oh my goodness, why am I struggling with this one so hard? They were told they would be attempting to capture Covenant technology with an aim to disabling one of the aliens' ships and bringing it back intact. What the crew didn't know were the stakes. Approaching the system's edge, Ensign Lavelle reported, ready to generate a slipstream. Captain, Lieutenant Dominique cried. Incoming Alpha Priority transmission from FleetCom HQ at Reach. Sir, they're under Covenant attack. And that is the end of Chapter 28. Section 5. Reach. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? Wasn't me. I didn't do nothing. Okay. Before I get too excited, I'm gonna go pee before I pee myself here. Okay. Let me not spoil that. Okay, give me a couple seconds while I go do the Gamer Girl pee. I gotta collect it so I can dump it into the garden and get super delicious tomatoes. Give me 1 second. And no, at Kiro, they did not yet mention her feats, unfortunately. Also, oh hey, at Kira, when did you get in here? I gotta go pee though. Give me a second. Blackton Keys. Okay. we will resume. Hopefully, before the book ends, they will explain a very detailed passage about what Cortana's feet look like. Otherwise, I'm gonna burn this book. Okay. So Fleetcom HQ says that Reach is under attack by the Covenants. Uh-oh! I wonder what's gonna happen. Section 5. Reach. Chapter 30. 0 hours. August 29th, 2552. Military calendar. Narrow band point-to-point transmission. Origin unknown. Termination. Section 3. Omega Secure Antenna Array. UNSC HQ Epsilon Eridani System. Reach Military Complex. PLNB. Priority Transmission XX087R-XX. Encryption code Gamma. Public key NA. From code name Coal Miner to code name Surgeon. Subject Progress Report / Operation Hypodermic. Yeah, okay. Subject Progress Report / Operation Hypodermic. Classification Eyes Only, Top Secret, Section 3 X-Ray Directive. File extraction reconstitution complete. Start file. Secured Space Dock Repair Bay. Corvette circumference undergoing final strength upgrades. Shipyard records successfully altered. Queries detected from transient AI. Operation deemed at risk of being uncovered. As per contingency plan Tango, ship registration numbers scrambled. Hard isolated from dockside computer network. Counter-intrusion software implemented. Alpha security protocols enacted on board. Just as you called it, sir. Don't worry. As far as the station computers are concerned, circumference never even existed. End file. Scramble destruction process enabled. Press enter to continue.
Whoa, what the heck is that? What just happened? It's a super secret email. What does it all mean? Whoa.
Chapter 31. Wait, I just noticed this section does not have a thingy, a draft of the possible book cover. I guess they ran out of book covers. Uh-oh. Chapter 31. 447 hours. August 30th, 2552. Military calendar. Remote sensing station Fermion. Epsilon Eridani Systems Edge. Chief Petty Officer McRobb entered the command center of the remote sensing station Fermion. Is it pronounced, or is it Fermion? Or is it Fermion? Define. It might be. I gotta lower this so it doesn't destroy your ears. Oh, Fermion. I think I was pronouncing it correctly that entire time then. Fermion. Remote Sensing Station Fermion. Epsilon Eridani Systems Edge. Chief Petty Officer McRobb entered the command center of Remote Sensing Station Fermion. Lieutenant... What is JG? What the heck is that? Oh, Lieutenant Junior? Lieutenant... Lieutenant JG. Junior grade, okay. Lieutenant Junior grade Bill Streeter and David Breitling stood and saluted. He wordlessly returned their salutes. The wall-sized monitors displayed the contents of the last slipstream probes. Multi-dimensional charts, a rainbow of false color enhancements, and a catalog of objects adrift in the alternate space. Some of the new officers thought the representations looked pretty. To Chief McRobb, however, each pixel on the screens represented danger. So many things could hide in multidimensional space. Pirates, black marketeers, the Covenant. McRobb inspected their duty stations. He double-checked that all programs and hardware were running within UNSC specifications. He ran his hand along the monitors and keypads, looking for dust. Their stations were in tip-top shape. Considering what they were guarding, reach, anything less than perfection was unacceptable. He made certain his crew knew it too. "Carry on," he said. Since the Battle of Sigma Octantis, Fleetcom had reassigned top people to its remote sensing stations. Chief McRobb had been pulled from Fort York on the edge of the inner colonies. He had spent the last 3 months helping his crew brush up on their abstract and complex algebras to interpret the probe data. "Ready to send out the next step of probe, sir," Lieutenant Streeter said. "Linear accelerator and slip space generators online and charged. Set for a 30-second return cycle and launch," Chief McRobb ordered. "Aye, sir. Probes away, sir. Accelerated and entering the slipstream." Fleetcom didn't really expect anything to attack the Reach military complex. It was the heart of the UNSC military operations. If anything did attack it, the battle would be a short one. There were 20 super Mach guns in orbit. They could accelerate a 3,000-ton projectile to 0.4 the speed of light. They could accelerate a 3,000-ton projectile to 0.4 the speed of light and place that projectile within pinpoint accuracy. If that wasn't enough to stop a Covenant fleet, there were anything from 100 to 150 ships in the system at any given time. Chief McRobb knew, though, there had been another military base that was once thought too strong to attack, and the military had paid the price for their lack of vigilance? What the heck? Chief McRobb knew, though, that there had been another military base that was once thought too strong to attack, and the military had paid the price for their lack of oh my goodness. And the military had paid the price for their lack of vigilance. He wasn't about to let Reach become another Pearl Harbor. Not on his watch.
Not in my town. Try that in a small town.
"Probes returning, sir," Lieutenant Breitling announced. "Alpha re-entering normal space in 3, 2, 1. Scanning sectors. Signal acquired at extraction point minus 45,000 kilometers. Process the signals and send out the recovery drone, Lieutenant." "Aye, sir. Getting signal lock now." "Aye, sir. Getting signal lock on." The lieutenant squinted at his monitor. "Sir, would you take a look at this?" "On the board, Lieutenant." Radar and neutron imager? Yeah. Radar and neutron imager silhouettes appeared on screen and filled the display. Chief McRob had never seen anything like it in Slipstream before. Chief McRob had never seen anything like it in Slipstream space. Confirm the data stream is not corrupted, the chief ordered. I'm estimating that object is 3,000 kilometers in diameter. Affirmative. 3,200 kilometer diameter confirmed, sir. Signal integrity is green. We'll have a trajectory on the planetoid as soon as Beta Probe returns. It was rarer for any natural object this large to be in slipstream space. An occasional comet or asteroid had been logged. UNSC astrophysicists still weren't sure how the things got into the alternate dimension. But there had never been anything like this. At least, not since... "Oh my god," McRob whispered. "Not since Sigma Octanus." "We're not waiting for Beta Probe," Chief McRob barked. We're initiating the Cole Protocol. Lieutenant Streeter, purge the navigational database. And I mean right now. Lieutenant Breitling, remove the safety interlocks on the station's reactor." His junior officers hesitated for a moment. Then they understood the gravity of their situation. They moved quickly. Initiating viral data... Initiating viral state... Oh my god. I'm gonna go fast so I can capture their tone, but I still gotta read it properly. Initiating viral data scavengers, Lieutenant Streeter called out, dumping main and cache memory. He turned in his seat, his face white. "Sir, the science library is offline for repairs. It has every UNSC astrophysics journal in it." "With navigation data on every star within 100 light years," the chief whispered, "including Sol. Lieutenant, you get someone down there and destroy that data. I don't care if they have to hit it with a goddamn sledgehammer. Make sure that data is wiped." "Aye, sir," Streeter confirmed to the comm and began "Aye, sir." Streeter turned to the comm and began issuing frantic orders. "Safety interlocks red on the board," Lieutenant Breitling reported. His lips pressed into a single white line, concentrating. "Beta Probe returning, sir, in 4, 3, 2, 1. There. Off target 120,000 kilometers. Signal is weak. The probe appears to be malfunctioning. Trying to scrub the signal now." "It's too much of a coincidence that it's malfunctioning, Streeter," the chief said. "Get FleetCom on Alpha Channel on the double. Compress and send the duty log." "Aye, sir." Lieutenant Streeter's fingers fumbled with the keypad as he typed, then had to retype the command. "Log sent." "Beta Probe signal on the board," Lieutenant Breitling reported, calculating the object's trajectory. The planetoid was closer. Its edges, however, had abnormalities, bumps and spikes and protrusions. Chief McRob shifted and clenched his hands into fists. "It will pass through Epsilon Eridani system," Lieutenant Breitling said. Oops. I read that as both the quotation and the narration. Oops. "It will pass through Epsilon Eridani system," Lieutenant Breitling said, "intersecting the solar plane in 17 seconds at the system's outer edge at 041. He inhaled sharply. "Sir, that's only a light second away from us." Lieutenant Streeter stood and knocked over his chair, almost backing into the chief. McRob righted the chair. "Sit down, Lieutenant. We've got a job to do. Target the telescope array to monitor that region of space." Lieutenant Streeter turned and gazed into the rock-solid features of the chief. He took a deep breath. "Yes, sir." He sat back down. "Aye, sir. Moving the array." Gamma probe returning in 3, 2, 1. Lieutenant Breitling paused. "There's no signal, sir. Scanning." "Time plus 4 seconds and counting. probe may have translated on a temporal axis. I don't think so, the chief murmured. Lieutenant Streeter said, Telescope array now on target, sir, on the main view screen. Pinpoints of green light appeared at the edge of the Epsilon Eridani system. They collected and swarmed as if they were caught in a boiling liquid. Space stretched, smeared, and distorted. Half the stars in that region were blotted out. Radar contact, Lieutenant Breitling said. Radar contact, Lieutenant Breitling said. Contact with more than 300 large objects. His hands started to shake. Sir, silhouettes match known Covenant profiles. They're accelerating, Lieutenant Streeter whispered, on an intercept course for the station. Fleet comm network connections are being infiltrated, Lieutenant Breitling said. His trembling hands could barely type in commands. Cutting our connection. Chief McRobb stood as straight as he could. What about the astrophysics data? Sir, they're still trying to end the diagnostics. Oh my goodness, why can I not say diagnostics? Sir, they're still trying to end the diagnostic cycle, but that takes a few minutes. Then we don't have a lot of options, McRobb muttered. He set his hand on Lieutenant Breitling's shoulder to steady the young officer. It's all right, Lieutenant. We've done the best we could. We've done our duty. There's nothing more to worry about. He set his palm print on the control station. The chief locked out the reactor safeties and saturated the fusion chamber with their deuterium reserve tanks. Chief McRobb said, Just one last order to carry out. And that is the end of Chapter 31. Chapter 32. 519 hours. August 30th, 2552. Military calendar. UNSC Pillar of Autumn. Epsilon Eridani Systems Edge. Something was wrong. John felt it in his stomach first. A slight lateral acceleration. That became a spin. John felt it in his stomach first. A slight lateral acceleration that became a spin strong enough that he had to brace his legs. The Pillar of Autumn was turning. Every other Spartan in the storage bay felt it as well. They paused as they unloaded equipment from crates and readied the cryotubes for their journey. The lateral motion slowed and stopped. The Pillar of Autumn's engines rumbled like thunder through the hull of the ship. Kelly approached him. Sir, I thought we were just accelerating to enter slip space. So did I. Have Fred and Joshua continue the prep tubes. Have Linda get a team and secure our gear. I'll find out what's going on. Aye, sir. The Master Chief marched toward the intercom panel. He hated being on spaceships. The lack of control was disturbing. He and the other Spartans were just extra cargo in a space battle. That's why he had to ask for permission to leave the station. To give the Covenant back their bomb. He hesitated as he reached for the intercom. If Captain Keyes was involved in some tricky maneuver or engaging an enemy, the last thing he needed was an interruption. He pressed the button. Cortana, we've changed course. Is there a problem? Instead of her voice, however, Captain Keyes spoke over the channel. Captain Keyes to Spartan 117. He replied, Here, sir. There's been a change in plans, Keyes said. There was a long pause. This will be easier to explain face to face. I'm on my way down to brief you. Keys out. John turned to the other Spartans, snapped to their tasks. Those without specific orders checked and rechecked their weapons and assembled their combat gear. They had all heard the captain, however. The sound receivers in their armor could pick up a whisper at 100 meters. I gotta get that thing. Like, I have it on my wish list. It's a. Oh, luckily I can just type it into here. I can just type it into here. Oh wait, no, this isn't the list I want. Oops. I think it was wish list or Amazon. Is it Amazon? This. I guess this one will technically work. What the heck? It doesn't work.
What? Whoa.
It technically does work. Ah, fuck. I gotta figure out why my thingy only works with HTTP and not HTTPS. Spooky. I want to get these. These earmuffs for the range, and they have an audio thingy where it mutes out the large sounds of gunfire while you're in the range, and but you can plug. I think it has a thingy at the bottom, but I can't see it from here. But you can also it cuts out the loud bangs of gunfire, but you can hear people talking just fine. 50%. Was it always 38% off? I think it was. I feel like this $50 has always been $50. But yeah, I wanna get these. I don't know if I wanna get the black ones or actually, for once, or I guess not once. I like this color too. Here, this battleship gray. This is a super cool color. I like this color. I like this color. I like the black because, of course, I like the black. And then the where's the solid green one? This one. It's just called green. Okay. This one's cheaper by $7.
Whoa.
48. What? So the black one is $50. The gray one is $58. $48. And then the green ones are $43. Maybe I'll just get the green ones, honestly. Just save a couple bucks. But yeah, I definitely want to get these. They would be useful not only for the range, but also like when working with hard machineries, like a saw, or I think you can plug in stuff at the bottom as well, right? Audio input jack, yeah. So I can also use these for stream for my audio monitor. So this would be super cool. Anyway, that little sentence there reminded me of that. They had all heard the captain, however. The sound receivers in their armor could pick up a whisper at 100 meters. And the Spartans didn't have to be told this was trouble. John clicked on the monitor near the intercom. The 4 cameras showed the Pillar of Autumn had indeed turned around. Reach's sun blazed in the center of the screen. They were heading back. Was something wrong with the ship? No. Captain Keyes wouldn't be coming to brief him if that was the case. There was definitely a snag. There was definitely a snag. The elevator doors opened and Captain Keyes stepped off the lift. "Captain on deck," the Master Chief shouted. The Spartans stood at attention. "At ease," Captain Keyes said. The expression on the captain's face suggested that ease was the last thing on his mind. He smothered his thumb over the antique pipe the Master Chief had seen him carry. "There's something very wrong," Keyes said. He glanced at the other Spartans. "Let's talk in private," he told the Master Chief in a low voice. He walked to the monitor on the intercom. "Sir," the Master Chief said. The Master Chief said? "Sir," the Master Chief said, "unless you wish to leave the deck, the Spartans will hear everything we say." Keyes looked at the Spartans and frowned. "I see. Very well. Your squad might as well hear this now, too. I don't know how they found Reach. They bypassed a dozen inner colony worlds to get here. It doesn't matter. They are here, and we have to do something." "Sir, they?" "The Covenant." He turned to the intercom. Cortana displayed the last priority alpha transmission. A communique flickered on screen, and the Master Chief read, "United Nations Space Command Alpha Priority Transmission 04592Z-83. Encryption code red. Public key. File Bravo Tango Beta 5. From Admiral Roland Fremont, Commanding Fleet Officer. Fleetcom Sector 1 Command. UNSC Service Number 00745-16778-16778-HS. 2. All UNSC warships in Epsilon Eridani system. Subject, immediate recall. Classification, classified, BGX directive. Start file. Covenant presence detected on Reach's system edge coordinates 030 relative. All UNSC warships are hereby ordered to cease all activities and to regroup at Rally Point Zulu at best speed. All ships are to enact the Cole Protocol immediately. End file. Cortana has picked up some ship signatures on the Pillar Bottom sensors, Captain Keyes said. She cannot be sure how many because of electrical interference, but there are more than 100 alien ships inbound toward Reach. We have to go. We have our orders. The Section 3 mission has to be scrubbed. Sir, scrubbed? John had never had a mission cancelled. Reach is our strategic headquarters and our biggest shipbuilding facility, Master Chief. If the shipyards fall, then Dr. Halsey's prediction of humanity having only months to survive will shrink to weeks. The Master Chief normally would never have contradicted a superior officer, but this time duty compelled him. Sir, our two missions are not mutually exclusive. Captain Keyes lit his pipe. In defiance of three separate regulations of igniting a combustible on UNSC in defiance of three separate regulations of igniting a combustible on a UNSC ship. He puffed once and thoughtfully examined the smoke. What do you have in mind, Master Chief? 100 alien vessels, sir. Between the combined force of the fleet and Reach's orbital gun platforms, it is almost guaranteed there will be a disabled ship my squad can board and capture. Captain Keyes mulled this over. There will also be hundreds of ships exchanging fire with one another. Missiles, nukes, Covenant plasma torpedoes. Just get us close enough, the Master Chief said. Punch a hole in their shields long enough for us to get on their hull. We'll do the rest. Captain Keyes chewed on his pipe. He tucked it into the cup of his hand. There are operational complications with your plan. Cortana has been running the Pillar of Autumn's shakedown. We have our own AI, but by the time we get it initialized and running this ship, the battle may be over. I see. I see, sir. Captain Keyes gazed a moment at the Master Chief, then sighed. If there is a disabled Covenant ship, and if we are close enough to it, and if we're not blown to a million bits by the time we get there, then I'll transfer you. Oh my god. What the heck? I think doing all of those voices there
Fucked it with my throat.
if there is a disabled Covenant ship, and if we are close enough to it, and if we're not blown to a million bits by the time we get there, then I'll transfer Cortana to you. I've flown ships without an AI before. Captain Keyes managed a weak smile, but it quickly disappeared. Yes, sir. We'll be at Rally Point Zulu in 20 minutes, Master Chief. Have your team ready by then. For anything. Sir, he saluted. Captain Keyes returned the salute and entered the elevator, puffing on his pipe and shaking his head. The Master Chief turned to his teammates. They halted what they were doing. You all heard. This is it. Fred and James, I want you to refit one of our Pelicans. Get every scrap of C12 and shape a charge on her nose. If Captain Keyes downs a Covenant ship, we'll have to blast our way into the ship's hull. Fred and James replied, Aye, sir. Linda, assemble a team and get into every crate only packed for us. Distribute that gear ASAP. Make sure everyone gets a thruster pack, plenty of ammo, grenades, and jackhammer launchers if we have them. If we do get on board, we may encounter those armored Covenant types again. This time, I want the firepower to take them out. Yes, sir. The Spartans scrambled to make ready for the mission. The Master Chief approached Kelly. On a private comm channel, he told her, Crate 13 on the manifest has 3 Havoc nuclear mines. Get them. I have the arming cards. Ready them for transport. Affirmative. She paused. The Master Chief couldn't see her face past the reflective shield of her helmet, but he knew her well enough to know that the tiny slump of her shoulders meant that she was worried. Sir, she said, I know this mission will be tough, but do you ever get the feeling that this is like one of Chief Mendez's missions? Like there's a trick, some twist that we've overlooked? Yes, he replied, and I'm waiting for it. Chapter 33. 534 hours. August 30th, 2552. Military calendar. UNSC Pillar of Autumn. Epsilon Eridani System. The Pillar of Autumn detonated its port emergency thrusters. The ship slid out of the path of the asteroid, missing it by 10 meters. The Covenant plasma trailing them did not. It impacted the city-sized rock and sent fountains of molten iron and nickel spewing into space. 9 of the 10 teardrop-shaped Covenant fighters, nicknamed Seraphs by Oni, dodged the asteroid as well. The 10th ship slammed into the asteroid and vanished from the bridge. The 10th ship slammed into the asteroid and vanished from the bridge's view screen. The other single ships accelerated and swarmed around the Pillar of Autumn, harassing her with pulse laser fire. Cortana, Captain Key said, activate our point defense system. The Pillar of Autumn's 50mm cannons flashed, chipping away at the Covenant ship's shields. Already engaged, Captain, Cortana said calmly. Ensign Lavelle, Captain Key said, engines all stop and bring us about 180 degrees. Lieutenant Hikawa, ready our Mach gun and arm Archer missile pods A1 through A7. I want a firing solution that has our Archer missiles hitting with the third Mach round. On it, sir, Lieutenant Hikawa replied. Aye, sir, Ensign Lavelle said. Answering all engine stop. Coming about. Brace yourselves. The Pillar of Autumn's engines sputtered and died. Navigational thrusters fired and rotated the ship to face the real threat, a Covenant carrier. The enormous alien craft had materialized aft of the Pillar of Autumn and launched their single ships. The carrier had then launched 2 salvos of plasma, which Captain Keyes had only shaken by entering the asteroid field. Cortana maneuvered the massive Pillar of Autumn like it was a sporting yacht. She nimbly dodged tumbling rocks, using them to screen Covenant plasma and pulse laser bolts. But the Pillar of Autumn would emerge from the asteroid field in 20 seconds. Firing solution online, sir, Lieutenant Hikawa said. Mach gun hot and missile safety interlocks removed. Ready to launch. Fire the missiles at will, Lieutenant. Rapid fire thumps echoed through the Pillar of Autumn's hull, and a swarm of Archer missiles sped toward the incoming carrier. Mach gun is hot, Hikawa said. Booster capacitors ready. Firing in 8 seconds, sir. I must make one small adjustment to your trajectory, Lieutenant, Cortana said. Covenant single ships are concentrating their attacks on our underside. Captain, with your permission? Granted, Keyes said. Firing solution recalculated, Cortana said. Hang on. Cortana fired thrusters, and the Pillar of Autumn rotated, belly up, brought the majority of her 50mm cannons to bear on the Covenant Seraph fighters, and brought the majority of her 50mm cannons to bear on the Covenant Seraph fighters underneath her. Overlapping fields of fire wore down their shields, punctured their armored hulls with 1,000 rounds, tore through the pilots with a hail of projectiles, and peppered their reactors. 9 puffs of fire dropped behind the Pillar of Autumn and vanished into the darkness. Enemy single ships destroyed, Cortana said, approaching firing position. Cortana, give me a countdown. Lieutenant Hikawa, fire on my mark, Captain Keyes said. Ready to fire, aye, Lieutenant Hikawa said. Cortana nodded. Her trim figure projected in miniature... Cortana nodded. Her trim figure projected in miniature inside the bridge holotank. As she nodded, a time display appeared, the numbers counting down rapidly. Okay, so now that Cortana is in the holotank, hopefully Eric Nyland will describe the way her feet look. This is very important detail to describe in the middle of a battle. It will inspire the troops and give them a much needed morale boost. Keyes gripped the edge of the command chair, his eyes glued to the countdown. 3 seconds. 2, 1. Mark! Firing! Hikawa answered. A triple flash of lightning saturated the forward view screen and bled in from viewport. 3 white, hot projectiles crossed the black distance between the Pillar of Autumn and the Covenant carrier. Along the side of the carrier, motes of light collapsed as they rebuilt the charges of the plasma weapons. Archer missiles were pinpoints of exhaust in the distance. The carrier's pulse lasers fired and melted a third of the incoming missiles.
Oh no, I'm getting hungry.
The tummy is starting to rumble like the hull of the Pillar of Autumn as the thrusters go roar. The Pillar of Autumn rolled to starboard and dove. Captain Keyes floated in free fall for a heartbeat. then landed awkwardly on the deck. The crenellated surface of an asteroid appeared on their port camera, meters away, then vanished. Captain Keyes was grateful that he never had time to initialize the Pillar Bottom's AI. Cortana performed superbly. The trio of blazing Mac guns struck the carrier. The shield flashed once, twice. The third round got through, gutting the ship from stem to stern. The carrier spun sideways. Her shields shattered. Her shields stuttered once, trying to re-establish a protective screen. 100 Archer missiles struck, cratered the hull, blossomed into fire and sparks and smoldering metal. The alien craft listed and crashed into the asteroid the Pillar Bottom had just narrowly avoided. It stuck there, hull broken and cracked. Columns of fire blossomed from the shattered vessel. Captain Keyes sighed. A victory. The Spartans, however, would not be taking that ship into Covenant space. It wasn't going anywhere. Cortana, mark the location of the destroyed ship and the asteroid. We may have a chance to salvage her later. Yes, Captain. Ensign Lavelle, Captain Keyes said, turn us around and give me best speed to Rally Point Zulu. Lavelle tapped the thrusters and rotated the Pillar Bottom to relative space normal with reach. The rumble of the engines shook the decks as the ship accelerated in system. ETA 20 minutes at best speed, sir. The battle for reach could be over by the time he got there. Captain Keyes wished he could move through slipspace for short, precise jumps like the Covenant. That carrier had materialized a kilometer behind the Pillar Bottom. If he had that kind of accuracy, he could be at the rally point now, and be of some use. Any attempt to jump in system, however, would be foolish at best. At worst, it would be a fatal move. Jump targets varied by hundreds of thousands of kilometers. Theoretically, they could re-enter normal space inside Reach's sun. Cortana, give me maximum magnification on the 4 cameras. Aye, sir, she said. The view of the forward screen zoomed in, jumped and refocused on Planet Reach. 20,000 kilometers from the planet, a cluster of 100 UNSC ships collected at Rally Point Zulu. Destroyers, frigates, 3 cruisers, 2 carriers, and 3 refit and repair stations hovering over them, waiting to be used as sacrificial shields. 52 additional UNSC warships inbound to Rally Point Zulu, Cortana reported. Shift focus to section 4x4 on screen, Cortana. Show me those Covenant forces. The scene blinked and transferred to the approaching Covenant fleet. There were so many ships Captain Keyes couldn't estimate their numbers. How many? He asked. I am presently tracking 314 Covenant ships, Captain, Cortana replied. Captain Keyes couldn't tear his gaze away from the ships. The UNSC only won battles with the Covenant when they outnumbered the enemy forces 3-1, not the other way around. They had one advantage: the Mac orbital guns around Reach, the UNSC's most powerful non-nuclear weapon. Some call them Super Mac guns, or the Big Stick. Their linear accelerator coils were larger than a UNSC cruiser. They propelled the 3,000-ton projectile at tremendous speed and could reload within 5 seconds. They drew power directly from the fusion reactor. Oh my god. I was about to say planet side, but that doesn't go there. Planet side. They drew power directly from the fusion reactor complex planet side. Pull the camera angle, Cortana. Let me see the entire battle area. The Covenant ships accelerated toward Reach. The fleet at Rally Point Zulu fired their Mach guns and missiles. The orbital super Mach guns opened fire as well. 20 streaks of white hot metal burned across the night. Oh, was that was that page 343?
Wow, what the heck?
You chose the most opportune moment to join the stream. Oh hey at the cat watches, when did you get in here? Oh hey at Stare Bear, when did you get in here? What is you up to, the Stare Bears? So I'm getting pretty hungry, and and I'm getting that thing where like my body feels weird. I don't think I've said it on stream before, but my body feels weird in that I'm pretty sure it's because I have my monitor in. Okay, I took off my monitor. I took off my my earphones. When I have my earphones plugged in for the audio monitor, I hear the static that's picked up by the mic. I don't think it's as strong for you guys as it is for me, but I think constantly listening to that static for hours while I'm streaming and also while I am reading, I think that kind of like disorients me a little bit because that's the only time it ever happens. After streaming for a couple hours, the first time it happened, I was pretty weirded out and pretty spooked, but now that it's happened for quite a while, I think I'm aware of what it is at least. Me just chilling with the Care Bears. That's pretty cool. The Care Bears is a pretty cool guy. He kills aliens and doesn't afraid of anything. The book's pretty good. I like it. I'm having fun reading it and doing the voices and making memes. Yeah, no, you don't hear this. It's definitely way louder for me because I'm getting the raw audio that the mic is picking up. Whereas for OBS, it's not at full blast. So this is full. Right now it's at negative 2.8 decibels on OBS. I'm going to pump it up to 100 decibels, which is now 100 decibels. And at this point, when I'm not talking, I do see some background noise being picked up by the mic. But it is most likely the fan. Probably if you have earphones plugged in, you might hear the static, but it probably will not be as loud as I hear it myself from the raw audio, the raw microphone output. Static is like a buzzing in the brain. Yeah, it's I don't know why it happens though. It's pretty weird. Okay, so maybe what I'll do is I'll finish this chapter. I'll take a break for foods. Patches. And we'll see from that point if I'm still gonna continue. I do want to. I still feel like I have quite a bit of energy to keep reading for quite a while, but I do also know that Sinus Sebastian from Sinus Owl Tips will be doing a WAN show. It might be live right now too. It does not look like it is live though. I will try to keep an eye out for the WAN show and see if maybe I will stop reading when that pops up.
Me has the hungies.
Surprisingly, your background audio is coming through clean on this end. Yeah, that's because I lower. I really do. Okay, so here, I'm gonna pull up OBS right now on screen for you guys. So here's my audio. Here's my audio stuff right now, my audio setup. Um, I used to have a couple filters. I used to have these. I used to have a gain, a compressor, a noise gate, and a suppression. But with the noise gate, I ended up not liking it because it kept cutting out my voice, and I could never properly. So I'm gonna turn it on right now. It's on now, and I didn't like it because if I or was it noise? It may have been noise suppression. One of these two. I'm not sure what it sounds like for you guys because I'm just getting the raw microphone audio. I'm not sure how it sounds differently for you guys. Um, I played around with these settings a lot, but I don't think I liked any of them at all. It is possible, I think, to get clearer audio, but I think based off the fact that I'm constantly moving the position of my head around the sometimes I'm adjusting the mic and how far or how close or how high and low. I have my chair settings. I had to play with it manually every single time. So that was an issue, and I think also noise suppression was an issue. Um, I would need like someone who has direct, immediate feedback. And so here, if I turn it up to full blast, 0 decibels on OBS, there's no fan pickup on the mic.
Patches, what the heck?
But if I have it like this, then I think it will cut out my. It'll cut out my mic sometimes. No, wait. You can't play here. I'm reading. I'm reading.
Look, it's the little Patches. She's so small. She's so small. She's a tiny camera. No, wait, look up here. No, come back. Come back. Look up here.
Maybe he'll play with the Pikachu. He likes her Pikachu.
Look, it's the Patches.
She's staring. She's stare bearer. Bear at the Pikachu. Stare bearing. He's a little kitty. But yeah, I would have to definitely. I think. I think I'm using USB to connect my mic right now. So if I were to use an XLR and get a mixer that has XLR input, I feel like you didn't mean to do it. I don't think, but you used the Peepo stare. What even is that? Is it just I think it's capital. It's stare with a capital S, right? There, yeah. And then stare bear.
Stare bear.
So yeah, I definitely really wanna work on my audio because I think that if I fix that, then I could get much clearer audio. But I still wouldn't be able to deal with like when it rains or when the cars and motorcycles are passing by outside. I would need like an actual soundproofed room if I wanted to do that. But I will slowly save up for that. Ogre time.
Patches, the Patches. Look at the Patches. She's a baby. She's a baby. She's a baby kitten. She's so small and so tiny.
Um, so yeah, I really need a way to play with the audio settings a bit more and get clearer, better audio. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's acceptable, but I expect nothing but the very best for my Spartans. Um,
Patches. She's a baby. Uh,
I'm getting pretty hungry. Look, come lay over here. Oh, okay, I guess this works if she's laying like this way. You can see her for the most part. You can see most of her body. Her little baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. You cannot press that button. What the heck? She put her paw on my finger as it was on the mouse, and she clicked the button. I almost closed OBS by accident. How many more pages on this chapter? One, two, two, two. Oh, can I borrow it again? No! Okay. I'm pretty hungry, so I will finish this chapter. I'll take a break, and then we will see how we progress from there. Where were we? We just finished page 343, so we are now on page 344. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. 6 more pages on this chapter. Okay. We'll finish this chapter, and then I'll make some snacks. I probably won't have like a full meal, just some snacks to satiate
my hunger for a little while.
and then we'll see. We'll see if I keep reading, or if we'll just do a little bit of stories for a while, or if Linus L Tips is streaming, and then we'll hop over to that instead. Patches is like Dee Dee in the Cagirl Dexter's Lab. You know what? I never really watched a lot of Dexter's Lab. It's one of those thingies where, like, we never had cable growing up, so I never got to watch Dexter's Lab or what other things did they have on Cartoon Network back in the 90s and early 2000s? I think they had no. They showed Powerpuff Girls on their free channels from time to time, so I saw some Powerpuff Girls. Patches is gone now, though, so the camera's dead. A Samurai Jack creator? Yeah. You can tell it has the same art style, the very angular art style, angular lines and such. Let's go look up Cartoon Network 90s programming. Let's pull that.
Jamie, pull that shit up.
Okay, let's see. They were doing We Baby Bears. Never heard of that. Oh wait, this is 2022. What? No. Go back to the 90s. That's what's current. No wonder I never heard of it, because that's the current year Cartoon Networks. Can I just... I just want years. Programming blocks. Former programming blocks. Okay. Scooby Universe. This isn't a useful... Go back. List of 90s cartoons aired on Cartoon Network. By the time we didn't end up getting... Oh, Courage, yeah. I never watched too many episodes of Courage. I caught a couple, or bits and pieces of some episodes here and there when I went over to other people's. My parents dragged me Ogre to other people's places, and the kids there were watching Cartoon Network. The Moxie Show. Never heard of this. Never saw that. Mike, Lou, and Og. Never saw that. What a Cartoon. I Am Weasel. Never saw that. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Never saw that. Johnny Bravo. I think I caught a couple episodes of that. Ed and Eddie. I think that's one of those shows that, like, when my mom took me to the laundromat, this was on after school. So I caught a couple episodes of that, and I hated it because it's so depressing and awful, and I don't like it. Count Chicken, never really saw that. Dexter's Lab, I saw a couple episodes. Powerpuff Girls, and Courage. I think by the time we ended up getting we moved to the Bronx and got the cable. They had like Camp Laszlo, My Gym Partner's a Monkey. They had Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Does anyone else remember a show called what's his name? It starts with an R. He's a squirrel. Something Squirrel. Is it Rodney Squirrel? I don't think so, right? It was like one of those things that they tried to put on, but I think it disappeared. It's not Squirrel Boy. Is it? No, that's not it. It is Rodney Squirrel. I think it's this guy, right? Oh, Billy and Mandy was also another show that was on. Speaking of Billy and Mandy, whoa, this ties us. We're going full circle now. The guy, the supervisor at my job, who gave me the Halo books, he I think it was my first day or some of my first couple of days. I worked there when he gave me I think it was after or before. He gave me the Halo books. That's why we're going full circle. We're going back to Halo Fall Reach. He took me to lunch and I got a sandwich. Yummy, yummy. Big yummy sandwich. He asked me what one of my shows that I watched was, and I said, The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Was it hula hoop? There was a challenge, right? What is it exactly? How did Billy and Mandy... Or what challenge did the Billy and Mandy beat Grim at? Because the thing is that they beat him at a challenge or something. And then that's why and because he lost, he has to follow them around now. He's their servant, basically. I don't find it, but we'll find it later. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, Billy and Mandy was one of my favorite shows. I feel like that Rodney Squirrel show was. It was at that point it was sort of becoming Zoomery in a way, where the season 11 of SpongeBob is just constant overload of sensation, of sounds, of visuals, of just everything. I think at that point, I think both My Gym Partner's a Monkey and that Rodney Squirrel thing that I'm thinking of, at that point I started getting too old for Cartoon Network's new programs. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna be the meme where the only cartoons that I base my personality off of are Samurai Jack, Billy and Mandy, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Teen Titans as well, Tom and Jerry, and what's another one that I liked? I think I have like a love-hate relationship with Camp Laszlo, where some episodes I like, some episodes I don't. Sometimes I have fun watching it, sometimes I don't. And I don't know how to quite... I don't know what it is about that show. But maybe I'm just like really susceptible to shows that have like this aura of... this tinge of like depression in it. Like with Ed, Edd n Eddy, certain episodes of, or certain moments of Camp Laszlo, certain moments of Teen. There's that one episode of Teen Titans that fucking spooked me. I forgot what it was, but somebody made a video about it. It was like the British guy who had like a black and white outfit or something. Teen Titans black and white villain. Maybe that shows up. Black and white suit villain. Oh, this guy. The episode with this guy, I think, is one of the ones that depressed me for like, who knows what reason. It's just so spooky. No, what the heck? Well, this guy. No villain in superhero media has ever done a better job at striking fear into my heart than the guy from Teen Titans who weaponized being British. Oh my god. Gotta send this to Annie. She's gotta have that spooky British woman aura about her. Okay. Let me finish this chapter. I'll go grab my foods, my snacks, and then we'll see if we can talk about other stuff or if I'll end there. Also, I fucking got a mosquito bite. I went outside to turn off the water earlier for the plants, but I think I got a mosquito bite. I didn't even see the fucker, but I got a mosquito bite. My grandparents used to turn on Cartoon Network when they babysat my sisters and I. It was cool because they had cable when cable was cool. Yeah, I don't think I had cable until... Patches, chill. I don't think we got cable until I was like... It was my second year of middle school, I think, which would have been 8th grade. So it would have been about like 13 or 14, something like that. Basically right before high school. That's when we got cable. So that's when I started watching some Cartoon Network stuff. Before then, I was just entirely out of the loop with any cartoons that everybody watches. I never had Cartoon Network. I never had Nickelodeons. I never watched Rugrats. I never watched whatever other things they have on Nickelodeon. Hey Arnold, I never watched that. Those are the only two that come to mind when I think of Nickelodeon. And same thing with like the Giznep channel. Never watched any of those shows there. Fall of Reach leads to the Halo ring, which is full circle too. Yes, it is. It definitely is full circle. Me stopped watching SpongeBob after the first movie because it stopped doing funny humor. Yeah, I never watched any of the SpongeBob movies. I don't think. By that point, I never watched because I was too old. Okay, let's finish this chapter. So let's reread the last part where we left off. Okay. The scene blinked and transferred The scene blinked and transferred to the approaching Covenant fleet. There were so many ships, Captain Keyes couldn't estimate their numbers. "How many?" he asked. "I am presently tracking 314 Covenant ships, Captain," Cortana replied. Captain Keyes couldn't tear his gaze away from the ships. Did I turn off my filters? Okay, I did. I just want to make sure I have consistent audio for the audiobook. Captain Keyes couldn't tear his gaze away from the ships. The UNSC only won battles with the Covenant when they outnumbered the enemy forces 3-1, not the other way around. They had one advantage: the Mac orbital guns around Reach, the UNSC's most powerful non-nuclear weapon. Some called them Super Mac guns or the Big Stick. The linear accelerator coils were larger than a UNSC cruiser. They propelled a 3,000-ton projectile at tremendous speed and could reload within 5 seconds. They drew power directly from the fusion reactor complex planetside. Pull Pull back the camera angle, Cortana. Let me see the entire battle area. The Covenant ships accelerated toward Reach. The fleet at Rally Point Zulu fired their Mach guns and missiles. The orbital super Mach guns opened fire as well. 20 streaks of white hot metal. 20 streaks of white hot metal burned across the night. The Covenant answered by launching a salvo of plasma torpedoes at the orbital guns. So much fire in space that it looked like a solar flare. Deadly arcs of flame and metal raced through space and crossed paths. The engines of the 3 refit stations flared to life, and the plate-like ships moved toward the path of the flaming vapor. A plasma bolt caught the edge of the leading station. Fire splashed over its flat surface. More bolts hit, and the station melted, sagged, and boiled. The metal glowed red, then white hot, tinged with blue. The other 2 stations maneuvered into position and shielded the orbital guns from the fiery assault. Plasma torpedoes collided with them and sprayed plumes of molten metal into space. After a dozen hits, clouds of ionizing metal enveloped the place where the 3 stations had been. They had been vaporized. The last of the Covenant plasma hit the haze, scattered, absorbed, and made the cloud glow a hellish orange. Meanwhile, the fleet's opening salvo and the super Mach rounds hit the Covenant fleet. Fuck. I'm getting that thing again where the static in my ears is hitting me. It kind of feels like I'm getting like a bit dizzy, as well as a bit disoriented. I don't really know why it does that. It's really weird, but I think I should find a way to keep that from happening. Maybe what I need is like a headset like the other one that I pointed out before. The good thing is, though, that it hasn't yet given me a headache. I don't think it will, but I believe that it possibly could give me a headache. Maybe I gotta find an alternate way aside from in-ear noise-canceling earbuds for my audio monitor, for my microphone monitor. Yeah, I use earbuds. I got, let me Jamie pull that shit up. I use these thingies. They're in-ear. And they're pretty good at noise isolation. And I think that they're definitely super good for trying to isolate my sound of my voice as I'm reading, doing dialogue, and doing voices, so that I have a proper assessment of what it sounds like to you. It's not perfect. I can still hear a little bit of my own voice coming through. But having the in-ear and noise cancellation definitely gives me a clearer idea of what the final result is, of what the mic picks up and broadcasts on stream. I could also just not use it, but I think just getting the feedback from my own audio is definitely less. I have less of an idea of what I sound like right now. And so I think I'd rather have the audio in, which also helps me figure out when when I'm a little bit too loud, because then I also peak in my ears and it hurts. So I know to either redo or and be quiet a little bit, as well as when I do pops that do not sound good at all for broadcasting and for audio listeners who have earphones or headphones or something. Audio is definitely one of those things when you're streaming and making videos that it's like the hardest thing to get down properly. And so I'm doing the best with what I have, but I think I could definitely get better with what I have, and I can also do way better with a better audio setup. But it's one of those things that you learn over the years with trial and error and such. I feel like I need water. Yeah, I did used to use a headset. I technically still do have that headset, and I think it will probably also work perfectly fine. But but to protect my hair, to protect my long hairs, I stopped using the headset. Because I am noticing that, like Dr. Halsey, I too am getting some silver hairs. So, I don't think the headset actually did all that much. I have noticed a reduction in the white hairs. So maybe it didn't. Maybe it just took a couple of months for that to kick in. Because I definitely do notice that the highest concentration of the white hairs are at the very top, where the headband is like squishing the top of my head for the headset to stay on my head, and I assume that's not helpful for trying to keep my natural hair colors from fading. But I don't know. I don't have any evidence other than what I've seen over the months and over the years. But yeah, I might have to revert to, where is it? Where did it go? Oh no, I think I killed it. You should dye the white hairs pink or purple like Kuromi's. Maybe. If anything, I would just do it like the blackest black. The blackest black of hairs. Is it Amazon again? It is Amazon. I don't know if you were here when I was talking about it. But on my wish list I have these. These which have they're supposed to be for the range to kill the super loud gunshots, but it does also have a wait, does this one not have a mic input thing? Is it only the green one? Oh, okay. There is an audio jack to connect your electronics as well. Yeah, so I could probably also use these for streaming. I might do that. It's $50 though. $50. The green ones are for meow. The green ones are 43. So maybe I'll just grab these ones instead.
Patches. Hey, baby. What's your baby? She's back on the desk.
No, she's gonna jump. So yeah, if you want to help me improve my audio setup, do not forget you can check out my Amazon wish list if you want to buy it from me, or you can check out my Amazon affiliate lists where I list some pretty cool products. If you're gonna buy something on Amazon already anyway, don't forget to click my affiliate link so I can get a couple pennies and save up for my better audio equipment. And you know all the other ways you can support me down below with direct tips or unsubscribe star for as little as $1 a month. And also you can buy my stories and poems at zyhg.com/shop. Okay, let me finish this chapter. No more interruptions. Let's finish the chapter and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so the repair stations have been vaporized. They had been vaporized. The last of the Covenant plasma hit the haze, scattered, absorbed, and made the cloud glow a hellish orange. Meanwhile, the fleet's opening salvo and the super Mac rounds hit the Covenant fleet. The smaller ship-based Mac rounds bounced off the Covenant shields. It took 3 or more to wear them down. The Super Mac rounds, however, were another story. The first Super Mac shell hit a Covenant destroyer. The ship's shields flashed and vanished. The remaining impact momentum transferred to the ship. The hull rippled and shattered into a million fragments. 4 nuclear mines detonated in the center of the Covenant fleet. Dozens of ships with downed shields flared white and dissolved. The other ships, however, shrugged off the damage. Their shields blurred brilliant silver, then cooled. The surviving Covenant vessels advanced in system. A third of their number were left behind, burning radioactive hulks or utterly destroyed by the Super Mac rounds. Plasma charges collected on the lateral lines of the Covenant ships. They fired. Fingers of deadly energy reached across space toward the UNSC fleet. One Covenant ship sat in the center of the pack, a gigantic vessel, larger than 3 UNSC cruisers. White-blue beams flashed from its prow. A split second later, 5 UNSC vessels detonated. Cortana, what the hell was that? Keyes asked. Lavelle, push those engine supercharges as hot as you can make it. Lavelle, push those engine supercharges as hot as you can make them. Running at 300%, sir, Lavelle reported. ETA 14 minutes. Replaying and digitally enhancing video record, Cortana said. She split the screen and zoomed in on the huge Covenant ship, replaying the video as the large ship fired. The Covenant energy beams looked like pulse lasers, but tinged silver white. How's this one pronounced? Scintillation, I assume? I gotta take off my earbuds. It's making me like way dizzier today for like who knows what reason.
Scintillation.
Yeah, scintillation. I think I might just have to stop after this chapter. If I keep going, I'm probably gonna get like a headache. What could it be? Why could it be the case that my audio is doing that? I'm so confused. Okay, well, I think what I'll do is I'll finish this chapter. and then I'll either head out or I'll eat, and then we'll just chill with some videos or video games, and then off stream later, I will pull out my headset out of retirement and see if that's any better for next time. Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. Typically, I only feel this way like 2 or 3 times after streaming, when I've had my earphones in for hours and hours and hours. But this time it feels like the first time that it's while I am reading that it's making me feel so weird like this. I don't get it.
I didn't know. Fuck.
Even stretching feels painful after working out.
Why is it like this?
The Covenant energy beams looked like pulse lasers, but tinged silver white. The same scintillation effect that they'd seen when their shields were hit. Cortana switched back to view the doomed UNSC destroyer Minotaur. The lance of energy was needle thin. It struck the vessel on A deck, aft near the reactor. Cortana pulled the view back and slowed the record frame by frame. The beam punctured through the entire ship, emanating below H-deck by the engines. It drilled through every deck and both sets of battle plate, Captain Keyes murmured. The beam moved through the Minotaur, slicing a thin meter-wide swath. Projected beam path cut through the Minotaur's reactors, Cortana said. A new weapon, Captain Keyes said. Faster than their plasma. Deadlier, too. The large Covenant ship veered off course and accelerated away from the battle. Perhaps it didn't want to risk getting too close to their orbital mech guns. Oh my god, I was so spooked, like my left ear just shook. I was like, what the heck was that? But then I looked outside and there was some dude on a motorcycle riding away. I was so spooked I thought I was having a heart attack.
Help! I've fallen and I can't get up.
Okay, where were we? Here we go. Perhaps it didn't want to risk getting too close to their orbital mech guns. Whatever the reason, Keyes was grateful to see it withdraw. The UNSC forces slowly scattered. Some launched missiles to intercept the plasma torpedoes, but the high-energy explosives did nothing to stop the superheated bolts. 50 UNSC ships went up like flares, burning, exploding, falling toward the planet. The orbital super mech guns fired. 16 hits and 16 Covenant ships were blasted into flame and glittering 16 hits and 16 Covenant ships were blasted into flame and glittering fragments. The Covenant fleet split into two groups, half accelerated to engage the dispersing UNSC fleet. The remainder of their ships arced towards relative to the plane of the system. That group maneuvered to get a clear shot around the cloud of vaporized titanium. That group maneuvered to get a clear shot. Oh my goodness, I need more water. I guess this is definitely the title, the chapter to end on. My voice is going, my ears are going, my head is going, my mic is going. Maybe my body is just way too into it that I can't help but get the blood flowing into my ears and my nose and my throat and my mouth as I'm doing all the voices. The Covenant fleet split into two groups. Half accelerated to engage the dispersing UNSC fleet. The remainder of their ships arced upward relative to the plane of the system. That group maneuvered to get a clear shot around the cloud of vaporized titanium from the refit stations. They were going to target the orbital guns. The orbital guns fired. The super heavy rounds tore through the clouds of ionized metal vapor, leaving whorls and spirals in the haze. They impacted 18 incoming Covenant ships, ripped through them like tinfoil, with enough momentum to pulverize their hulls. 6 Covenant ships cleared the interfering cloud of vapor. They had a clear shot. The super Mac guns fired again. Plasma erupted from the sides of the nearby Covenant ships. The super Mac rounds hit the vessel and obliterated the enemy. The streams of plasma, however, had already launched. They streaked toward the orbital guns, impacted and turned the installations into showers of sparks and molten metals. When the haze cleared, 15 of the Supermac orbital installations remained intact. 5 had been vaporized. The Covenant ships engaged the fleet, turned, and fled on an out-system vector. The remaining UNSC ships did not pursue. "Incoming order, sir," Lieutenant Dominique called out. "We're being ordered to fall back and regroup." Keyes nodded. "Cortana," he said, "can you give me damage and casualty estimate for the fleet?" Her tiny hollow image coalesced in the display tank. "Yes, Captain," she said. She cocked an eyebrow at him. "Are you sure you want the bad news?" Damage estimates scrolled across his personal screen. They had taken heavy losses. An estimated 20 ships remained. Nearly 100 shattered and burning UNSC vessels floated, lifeless, in the combat area. Captain Keyes realized that he was holding his breath. He exhaled. "That was too close," he murmured. "It could have been closer, Captain," Cortana whispered. He watched the retreating Covenant. Once again, it was too easy. No, it had been anything but easy for the UNSC forces. But the Covenant were certainly giving up far earlier than in any previous battle. The aliens had never stopped once. The Elamaus had never once stopped. The aliens had never stopped once they engaged an enemy. Except at Sigma Octanus, he thought. "Cortana," Captain Keyes said, "scan the poles of Planet Reach and filter out the magnetic interference." The view screen snapped to Reach's northern pole. Hundreds of Covenant dropships streamed toward the planet's surface. "Get Fleetcom HQ online," he ordered Lieutenant Dominique. "Copy this message to the Fleet Commander as well." "Aye, sir," Lieutenant Dominique said. "Channel connected." "Tell them they're being invaded. Dropships inbound at both poles." Dominique sent the message, listened for a moment, then reported, "Message received and acknowledged, sir." The super mech guns pivoted and fired, shattering dozens of the Covenant dropships in the shells'. The super mech guns pivoted and fired, shattering dozens of the Covenant dropships in the shell's supersonic wake. The remains of the UNSC flit? What the heck? the word split is next, so that's why I had fleet and split combined into one word. The remains of the UNSC fleet split into two groups, moving toward either pole. Missiles and mech guns fired and blasted the dropships to bits. The poles were punctured with thousands of meteoroids. The poles were punctured with thousands of meteoroids as the bits of hull burned up in the atmosphere. Hundreds must have gotten through, Keyes thought. "Incoming distress signal from Fleetcom HQ planetside, sir," Lieutenant Dominique said, his voice breaking. "On speakers," Captain Keyes said. "There are thousands of them. Grunts, jackals, and their warrior elites." The transmission broke into static. "They have tanks and flyers. Christ, they've breached the perimeter. Fall back! Fall back! If anyone can hear this, the Covenant is groundside, massing near the armory. They're—" White noise filled the speakers. Captain Keyes winced as he heard screams, bones snapping, an explosion. The transmission went dead. "Sir," Lieutenant Hall said, the Covenant fleet has altered their outbound trajectory. They're turning." She rotated to face the captain. "They're coming in for another attack." Captain Keyes stood straighter and smoothed his uniform. "Good." He addressed the crew. In the calmest voice he could muster. "Looks like we're not too late after all." Ensign Lavelle nodded. "Sir, ETA to Rally Point Zulu in 5 minutes." "Remove all missile safety locks," Captain Keyes ordered. "Get our remote piloted longsword into the launch tube, and make sure our Mac gun capacitors and boosters are hot." Captain Keyes pulled out his pipe. He lit it and puffed. The Covenant were, of course, after the orbital guns. Their suicidal frontal charge, while almost effective enough, had been just another diversion. The real danger was on the ground. If their troops took out the fusion generators, the super Mac guns would be so much floating junk. Okay. The real danger was on the ground. If their troops took out the fusion generators, the super Mac guns would be so much floating junk in orbit. "This is bad," he muttered to himself. Cortana appeared on the AI pedestal near the nav station. "Captain Keyes. Captain Keyes, I'm picking up another distress signal. It's from the Reach Space Dock AI. And if you think this," she gestured at the incoming Covenant fleet on screen, "is bad, wait until you hear this. It gets worse." I guess my reading is at capacity since I can't even do the Cortana voice any justice. I think I had a pretty good Cortana voice last time, but this time I got too much
croakiness is in there.
And that is the end of chapter 33. But I think I'm definitely gonna want to redo the Cortana lines there next time I start, because I don't think that Cortana voice was too good at all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next chapter is only six pages. No, I think I'll leave it there. With Cortana saying that it gets worse. Yeah, man. The voice is perfectly fine for male characters, but it is not fine for for female characters. Sir, finishing this fight to give the Covenant back their bomb. What was I looking for? That's what I was looking for. No! Skip to the good part.
Well, I got good news and bad news. This bird took some fire and our thruster gimbal is toast, which means the only way off this slag heap is gravity.
And the good news?
That was the good news.
At current velocity, 53 seconds to end point.
Yeah. Bad news is, time is fried. I'm gonna have to fire it manually.
That's a one-way trip.
We all make it sooner or later. Better get going, Six. They're gonna need you down there. Listen, Reach has been good to me. The time has come to return the favor. Don't deny me this. Tell him to make it count.
Slip space rupture detected.
Gamma station control, reading multiple pings below the orbital defense
Slip
grid.
space rupture detected.
Yeah, we're picking up anomalies too. Are you reading
Slip
it?
space rupture
Multiple
detected.
Covenant signatures.
Slip space
Does anyone
rupture
have a
detected.
They're everywhere.
Slip space
Yeah,
rupture
must be
detected.
the whole damn Covenant
Slip
fleet.
space rupture detected.
Rippy dippy, rippy skippy, rippo dippo. Cortana should have said, "This isn't a natural subspace stream. This isn't a natural subspace rupture." Okay, I think I need to go get some food because me has the hungies. And maybe during my break, while eating food and drinking water, my voice will come back. If so, I will try to read a little bit more. But don't hold your breath like Captain Keyes, as he was reading the damage report after that initial Covenant engagement at Reach's orbit. What's the music? Watch the musics for now. I guess we'll do some Halo music to open the BRB screen. We'll do the pillar bottom. Two of my musics are two of my Halo lo-fi musics are from ODST. So I'll do pillar bottom. I guess pillar bottom is technically an ODST thing, right? I'm gonna start playing it right now. I think maybe it just has parts of ODST in it. Okay, so let me go heat up some chicken nuggies, some yummy honeycomb tomatoes that we grew. What else am I gonna mix? I kind of want some candy, but that's the sugar's not gonna be good for me throats. We'll see. We'll see what we get. Okay, I will be back in a couple of minutes. Try not to be nuked by Covenant plasma weapons.
Don't make a girl a promise. If you know you can't keep it. They let me pick. Did I ever tell you that? Choose whichever Spartan I wanted. You know me. I did my research, watched as you became the soldier we needed you to be. Like the others, you were strong and swift and brave. Natural leader. But you had something they didn't. Something no one saw but me. Can you guess? Luck. Was I wrong?
Monkey, monkey. Okay, I got some yummies. There are some walls and some ceilings. Wait, just one ceiling. Alright, peace. Okay, so I just got a snack since I didn't really get super duper full entire meal. What I have is this. It is a yummy chicken nuggies with ketchups and some baby tomatoes. So, we're gonna go find something to listen to, and I think the man who acts. What the? The man who acts has just put out a video. Let's go check that one out. If Sinus L-Tips appears, then I think we'll do that, and we will see if that's the route that we go.
What's up, everybody?
Wait.
Oy, 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 oy. Santa Maria.
I hate it that it takes so long sometimes to load a YouTube page. And I pressed pause to try to adjust to the volume or do my final little bits of adjustments. But YouTube says, nah, but we're not gonna register your click. Nah, fuck you. Fuck YouTube. How about that? How about that? Okay. Okay. Time for me the munchies and we the act man.
This is the React Man here, and today I want to discuss reaction content on YouTube and Twitch. What year is it? I thought this issue was solved and done with back in 2016 and 17, when the entire YouTube community came together to condemn this degenerate, thieving type of content. If you didn't know, there's been quite a bit of drama, but this all started with two incidents, one of them being Lemon posting a JFK documentary, which XQC and Hassan both reacted to and uploaded a video, copying the title, thumbnail, and much of the metadata, and re-uploading this reaction so soon.
What the heck? Do you guys hear those monkey sounds? Where's the monkeys coming from? What the heck?
After the original upload did feel a bit scummy. And the other instance that sparked this discussion,
A good thing I don't do that. Nope. Nope, not me. No.
was the ongoing feud between Jax Films and Sniper Wolf. But to start off, I really want to hear what Hassan has to say about all this. So we're going to be checking out one of his videos. This is responding to this again, ReactGate, okay?
Austinox can't help himself, has to get me into trouble. But this is actually informative and pretty good, so I'm going to cover this part of it. The irony is, Austinox himself is an individual entity, okay? He is my editor, but he also works with other people, and this is what he does. He's a human being with his own thoughts and his own opinions. But because we are so conditioned into thinking like, oh no, dude, he's your slave. Everything that he does at your behest. When Austinox talks about ReactGate or whatever, people get super mad.
You know, this is kind of loud. There we go. Yeah, I'm just trying to make some steel bars. I figure if I'm going to be reacting to content, I might as well be grinding something in RuneScape. I'm pioneering a whole new type of reaction content. But as my name suggests, I am the ultimate authority on React content. The trademark is pending, but I think I will manage to wrestle it from the slimy hands of the fine bros. Criticism of reaction content has blown up in the last few weeks, and since the content cop turned in his badge and isn't patrolling the streets, many bad actors have gotten complacent. However, before talking about the bad type of reaction content, let's talk about the best. Old H3H3 videos are still top tier in this regard. Some of Ethan's most popular videos are just reactions, but they're way more than that, because he would incorporate skits, he would only play segments of the videos, not the entire things.
Are you a game assassin, dude? You probably fucking suck!
And in most cases, his reactions made the content he was reacting to bearable.
What's up, guys? I'm Mo Bradbury. I'm Ethan Bradbury.
I can't.
Why did the old times have to leave? Why couldn't they just keep doing what they were doing? It was literally... It's literally timeless. You can go back and watch those old videos. And they're still just as good. What happened? What happened?
Cannot get over his gaze.
I can't even focus on what he's saying. I'm Ethan Bradbury.
I think these are the best kinds of react videos, where the reaction or the response is the main focus or the main source of entertainment. This is what all reaction content should strive to do, be equally or more entertaining than the thing they're reacting to. And even when Ethan would play clips without him talking for extended periods, he'd add his own little edits in, make it transformative.
Be connected!
That shit is still legendary. This, in my opinion, is reaction content at its best. But if you want to see reaction content at its most deplorable, none do it worse than Sissa Sniper Wolf.
This dude is running sideways. What?
What?
What she does is steal viral TikToks and reacts. I can't put enough quotation marks in that word, but she spams out these react videos on her channel like a soulless factory production. Usually her editors make sure to crop out the watermarks of the user, and she never links these accounts in the description or gives them any shout out whatsoever. It is cold, calculated content thievery.
Stop! You violated the law.
She reaps all the benefits without doing any of the work. Since the Sniper Wolf's content is so lazy, soulless, boring, repetitive, stale, inhuman, and devoid of personality, that Jax Films started a video series to improve her content, where he plays bingo with his audience as they wait and predict how she will react to a TikTok. He does this live on stream, so these are genuine predictions he makes.
Very strong chance Sniper Wolf will read the caption verbatim.
I opened my beads the wrong way.
Yeah. Please go to your bingo cards and please select reading caption word for word. Oh no, now they're not in their little dividers anymore. I really want that close up. Oh, no, I really want that. Let's see.
Oh no.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Sniper Wolf. I can read you like a book.
As a content creator who takes great pride in what I do, I would be fucking ashamed and utterly demoralized if anybody could do this with my videos. When faced with this criticism, how did Sissa Sniper Wolf take it? You guessed it, by blaming sexism. I hate bringing gender into this, but no one ever attacks the male react channels.
Are you sure about that?
No, 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 and no.
No, you're bringing gender into this because it's your only defense. Because you know as well as we do that what you do is morally wrong and you produce shit tier content. Side note, you should also subscribe to Jax Films and watch his live streams on Twitch. He goes out of his way to point out each TikTok user that Sissa Sniper Wolf refuses to credit and steals content from, and he links their profile in the description of his videos. So it's Jax Films is doing your job for you. He's making your content interesting and crediting the people you are stealing from. But it gets worse. See, if you watch any of Sissa Sniper Wolf's content for more than a few minutes, not that you'd be able to, as a few days later the police would find your brain splattered against the wall, but if you even just watch one video of hers, you'll notice Sniper Wolf has this odd pattern of narrating what we can all see with our own eyeballs.
Some chalky milk. Oh, that's not milk. Oh, it's become a slime.
I can't watch anymore.
So much so that her comment section has turned against her. Honestly, props to Leah, because I was not expecting the comment section to be on. Can't wait to play bingo with this one. I love how much insight she puts into these reaction vids, because damn, that's crazy. I love the part where she turned into a wolf and sniped everyone. I love the way she just explains what happens in the TikTok. She gets so much inspiration from her fans. This is, of course, in reference to YouTube putting out a tweet saying, where does Sniper Wolf get her idea?
I like how he's reading the comments. Whoa.
Ideas from? And she said, I get them from my fans, and these are the ideas. Re-uploaded TikToks.
She's about to sniper explain what we're watching. Bro's got a big old bag of liquid. She's gonna say something like that.
Bro has a bag of
Sniper Wolf, you continue to amaze me.
So she narrates everything that we can see with our own eyeballs. Now, you could chalk this up to just being a boring person with nothing valuable to say and making factory line production content, churning that out without any soul or passion whatsoever. You could chalk it up to that. However, astute observers have noticed that the reflection of the computer screen in her glasses is always white. You can see my ring light in these glasses, right? You can see the ring light there, but if I put on my other glasses, you can see the light changing, right? If I put like a red wallpaper on, this is what I'm looking at, and you can see it in my glasses. But again, if you look at Sniper Wolf's glasses, it's always a white box. What does this mean? Well, it's almost as if she's looking at a script, a Microsoft Word document, and not actually the video she's reacting to.
Look at this. There's multiple instances in which you can see the reflection of her monitors in her fucking glasses, and it's just white. You see her microphone, and you see just a white screen. I don't see this video with the quirky trampoline, white boy jumping off it and hurting himself. I see a fucking Google Doc. What the fuck?
Sniper Wolf is so fucking lazy. She's not even reacting to what's on screen. She's faking it. Just like she fakes her gameplay, she fakes her Instagram photos. This is the fakest bitch on YouTube, dude. You are faking the laziest type of content on the platform. Oh, but we're not done. It gets so much worse, ladies and gentlemen. One thing that always pisses me off with lazy content creators.
What the heck? She's a faker woman than I am.
Like this is when they reuse the same 4 faces in every thumbnail. Now, sometimes
That's definitely one of the things, one of the biggest things I've always hated about about thumbnails. Like, fuck off, you're just using... They have like one good day of photo shoots where they just take every possible picture for whoever the person is. And then they're just reusing those same exact pictures. They're making maybe slight modifications here and there on Photoshop to make it look like if it's particularly for this video that you're watching, or maybe after like 6 months or 1 year, they do another photo shoot to try to get new faces, or if you have a haircut, or if you trimmed your beard a little bit.
What the heck? I fucking hate that. And I thought my jokes were bad. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
Reuse poses or faces, but it's generally spread out so that it's not noticeable at first glance. I've done this just a handful of times. You look at Sniper Wolf shit. Look at this garbage. Look at this. Just take one glance and look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 videos with the same face. These two are just back to back. Oh my god, look at this unique thumbnail. Wow, it really stands out when you change. Let's go back a year and see how many times she made this face.
A few moments later.
I mean, people watch it, right? 2.4 million views 3 months ago, 2.3 million views 3 months ago. If people are watching it, if YouTube and Sniper Wolf are making monies off it and reaping rewards off of it, why wouldn't they? Wait a second. This thumbnail, the URL for this Actman video ends with VAG. What the heck? Nice. But is the entirety of the blame on her? No. We gotta look at the platform as well. It's not just her fault. She's just capitalizing on something that works. If there are Zoomers and the kids on YouTube Kids, I'm assuming
this is probably also she makes her content so that it can be on the YouTube Kids app. Hang on, no, wait, no, that's not possible because I think if it is for YouTube Kids, then the comments have to be off. It wouldn't surprise me if she has another channel where she's trying to get into that market where it's all for the people who have no brains, who don't know how to think or pick better content. Oh wait, no, that's just her main channel.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26. You get the picture. Like, so this is the most disposable dog shit, lazy copy and pasted content one can possibly make. You are so lazy, you can't even just take like 30 minutes or an hour out of your day to set up a green screen and take various poses for thumbnails. Like, it's so fucking easy. It's a wonder this woman isn't starring in my 600-pound life, given how lazy she is. Sniper Wolf is also such a talentless hack that she thinks reacting to other people's content makes it hers and therefore makes it her original idea, because she like called out Mr. Beast for reacting to similar things she did. Like, imagine how detached from reality you have to be to think that you—
What? Somebody who makes YouTube videos? Detached from reality? What? Unheard of.
You own content if you're the first person to react to it. Jesus Christ. But it gets worse, because I was watching one of her clips and she does this thing where she repeats the exact same clips and reactions in a video in order to stretch it out to 8 minutes so that she can put mid-roll ads.
What? I don't know how people jump this high. Oh, he jumped on like a little trampoline thing. I was like, there's no way. Bro just flew into the hoop. Dunked himself too. Does that count for extra inside? Mwah. I know a good chicken when I see one. What? I don't know how people jump this high. Oh, he jumped on like a little trampoline thing. I was like, there's no way.
This shit was spaced out like 40 seconds, dude. There's no end to the depths of
Again, blame the platform and the people who watch. If they keep coming back for this, if this keeps getting 2 million views, she's not the only one at fault. When are people gonna start shitting on YouTube and the TikToks and the Zoomers for consuming dog shit? It's obviously not even working against Amazon and Disney. They're still turning on dog shit. People are still going to watch it. People are still giving them money. Who's really at fault here? Huh?
Depravity she will go. She will react to TikToks and then cut out the joke from the TikTok and pretend the joke is hers.
She hit it with a Hadouken. And she keyed in cheater on his car.
The guy in the video said she hit me with a Hadouken? No, hold on. We have a very serious accusation from someone in the Twitch chat.
The f she do? This bitch hit my shit with Thor's hammer. This bitch hit my shit with a Hadouken.
Oh, hell no.
Based on what I am seeing here, it would not surprise me if she's never even once seen the video. She probably has the writer, whoever is making this Google Doc. They write in there what they want her to say, the kind of expression she should have, and then she just has a couple of different various takes, and then whoever actually watches these TikToks, whoever actually steals them, and whoever does the actual work, they just pass off all of that knowledge, all of the information. They pass it off to her in the work doc. She records herself doing the stuff that it says on the word doc, and then it's passed off to the editor. And it could be the same person who even does the word doc. I don't know. But it wouldn't surprise me if she just records the videos and that's it. That's it. She just the writer spends like a couple weeks or a couple days collecting a whole bunch of TikToks. They think of what she should say, how she should react, all that good stuff, and then they send it to her, and then she does an entire month's worth of these reaction videos in like 2 days. And then that's it. She doesn't have to do anything else. That's it. It's gone.
the editor and the writer do the rest of the work. That is something that I'm pretty sure is very, very, very likely in this situation, given what we've seen so far, including the cutting off of content so that it seems like if she said it, but clearly she didn't, as we have just seen.
Okay, in all of my months of Jax films, this is probably the single most egregious thing you've ever done.
One of the most extreme examples of like content thievery is she stole a video from a guy whose original video had 1.6 thousand views at the time, and her video that included that re-uploaded video had 13.6 million views. There was no trickle down, no effort, no fucking care in the world. Sister Sniper Wolf, you are a thief, you are a scumbag. Everyone in the content creator hemisphere should unify and call you out on your bullshit.
Now, the main topic of Jack's video seems to be SS Sniper Wolf, aka Miss, sits there and watches other people's content for money and makes millions, including mine apparently, which I had no idea about. And yeah, it's extremely lazy and I hate it. I don't have any sympathy for thieves. Thieves being re-uploaders and people who just sit in the corner of a video making money off of other people's content.
Jax Films is 100% right in that YouTube themselves should not be promoting your kind of content.
What the heck? I said it first. He stole my idea. What the heck?
Your kind of strategy, especially at VidCon, as it sends the message to creators that stealing someone else's hard work is a better approach than making your own. There's a lot of nuances to making reaction content, and clearly Sniper Wolf gets all of it wrong. It's entirely possible to make react videos ethically.
And recently a YouTuber named The Act Man made a great journey through time looking at some of mainstream media's finest pieces on gaming. So I just wanted to share some of their highlight montage here with their best takes in gaming. I'll put a link to Ackman's video in the description so that way you can see all of the stories, because wow, they're really something special.
But it's also very easy to screw this up. It's easy for a large creator to keep an eye on trending videos, to quickly upload a reaction in order to steal, siphon, or cannibalize the viewership of that smaller creator. The biggest detriment of reaction content is that someone who watches the reaction is much less likely to watch the original. This problem is a lot less relevant for small creators reacting to bigger ones. For example, a channel with like 3,000 subs watches a video of mine in its entirety and gets 10k views. That doesn't really affect me at all. You know, I'm happy they're watching it and sharing their enjoyment with their audience.
Okay, so then he agrees I am doing absolutely nothing wrong. Easy peasy. I am all in the clear. Nyah-oo-woo.
But it becomes more significant when big creators react to each other or big to small. There was a recent case with my Diablo 4 fanboys video. It started off really well, getting pretty good views the first day. Then Asmongold uploaded a reaction to it, got good views the second day, but then the video fell off harder than Quebblecop on the third day. What I realized is that if you're a big creator who's going to react to someone's video, you should wait at least 4 days for it to be pushed in the algorithm naturally. And that's what Asmon and I talked about and agreed on after this happened. In this way, it creates buildup for his audience. They'll ask him to watch the video and they just have to wait patiently. So when he finally does, his audience is going to be excited. It means that my video will do better in turn, and so will his. You can see the difference in views on these two videos despite them being on the same game. I like Asmongold. He's a big ass nerd like me who loves talking about video games, and he's reacted to a bunch of my videos. As someone who takes passion in what I do, I enjoy watching those reactions. They always do really well on his channel, and some might say, but Act Man, he's stealing views from you. Those views belong to you. Maybe they do. I can't say for certain, but what I can say is a lot of people who are subscribed to my channel wouldn't be subscribed if Asmongold never made these videos. And that goes for Charlie as well, reacting to like my Elden Ring hot takes video and many others. These moments have boosted my channel in really positive ways, and I think it's because the people watching the videos and reacting to them enjoyed it and promoted my channel in the proper way. And that brings us to XQC, who is somehow way better than Sniper Wolf at making reaction videos. His problem is that he does less reacting and more re-uploading, but all too often he just sits there for minutes at a time without uttering a peep, and his editors don't cut out like the dead air. So there's these long stretches of him not saying anything, providing no insight, not transforming the content, essentially just re-uploading it to you.
Well, again, if people are gonna watch it, if people are gonna sit there, people are still gonna, they're going to support it with their time, with their, with their wallets, with every possible metric you can use, then what's the issue, right? I feel like more of the blame would be better placed if both the platform and the what the heck? What the heck? The power went off? Oh shit. Oh my goodness. Alright then. Maybe there is a storm, a spooky storm coming, because like the power went off in the whole entire house. And then I looked outside. The entire block. It was pitch black outside. What the, but it just came right back on. Uh-oh, that's no good. I guess it's kind of a good thing I was paused there. I would have been way more spooked. Let me see if it mentions anything here about severe thunderstorm. No, no severe. It's 86%, 86 degrees right now. 63% humidity. 83% chance of rain at 6 a.m. What the heck? It's not even that hot. I don't think everybody would be running their ACs full blast. What? I just saw 3 cars driving by, right next to each other. Give me a second, I gotta perform a little bit of recon. Okay, well, I mean,
looks like things are okay. I hope they are. But that was definitely super spooky. I think it was a little girl across the street, one of the neighbors' daughters, who was yelling when the lights went off. If it wasn't that, then there was some other kind of high-pitched squeal or scream, which could have been like the water pressure somewhere. As the moment that the power went out, but that's so weird. I think I've only been in maybe 2 blackout instances. There was definitely one entire day in New York where there was a blackout. I'm pretty sure it was also summer. Oh no! When Hurricane Sandy hit New York, my dad went to go drive to Brooklyn, and they were like half of downtown Manhattan was all darks. Whoa, that's pretty cool. I wish I had a camera back then, but unfortunately I did not. That was actually super duper cool. Okay, well, I was talking about same thing with XQC as with Sniper Wolf. We have to. I feel like it would be way better, way more accurate, way more proportionate to adequately distribute blame against toward all appropriate parties, including the person who is doing the dog shit react, the people who watch it, people who pay that person out of their own monies, the people who click on their links for sponsorships, the people who click on their Amazon affiliate links, the people who host those servers, whether it's Twitch or TikTok or YouTube or Kick, wherever. I feel like blame should be a bit more accurately, evenly distributed. I think an argument can be made against against blaming the platform because they just have too many people. But I think one of my counter arguments that I could potentially offer against that would be like, so the fuck what? It's your platform. If you're gonna encourage this, then I guess go ahead. If it's a hill that people are gonna die on at some point, then don't be surprised when liberals get the bullet too. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I still think that I mean, people are gonna be retarded. They're gonna be dumb people who just watch whatever. So platforms can't really fight against that. They need to just offer anything. But I would have to definitely think a bit further about how to solidify this argument and this idea of it's not just the people who are doing the dog shit reacts who should be taking the majority of the blame.
YouTube. XQC reacted to my TikTok, right? I had a clip of it, but apparently like yesterday, XQC decided to take that clip and post it on his YouTube channel. Finish the sentence. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. I'm going to dream. Stay away from her. That's a banger of a reaction. Dude's webcam froze for a few seconds there. I don't even think he blinked in that clip.
Hasan and XQC do come from a different branch of content
lights are off
creation
again?
than YouTubers, right? Live streaming.
What? Well, the good thing is that there's one street light that I can see from here. That's fine. Oh no, my UPS. My UPS is crying. I guess I gotta end stream. Okay, well, oh, it's back. Power's back. Oh no. I think another one of those, my UPS will fail. 26%? Okay, no, I gotta go. I don't want... Oh, fuck, there it goes again. Okay, bye. Good luck, have fun today. Don't be stupid. Don't forget you can support it. There's links down below. Amazon links down below. zyshg.com/shop. You can donate with Streamlabs using PayPal or credit card. Something else. See you next time.